Hey guys!
It's Shawn and Gwen again.
So in the last video, we answered some questions that you all had, and one of the questions was, how did Shawn actually contract HIV? And as he said, he was going to answer it in the next video. So yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about how Shawn contracted HIV and a little bit about what that was like in the beginning.
So from the beginning, I was born with hemophilia, and that's a blood clotting disorder. I'm deficient of a clotting protein called factor VIII. And so that means I'm just more susceptible to bleeds, and if I get cut and Gwen gets cut, if we had the same cut, mine would bleed longer and more profusely than hers. So in a nutshell, that's basically what hemophilia is. Fortunately, I was born at a time when blood product treatments had come a long way, and basically kids with hemophilia could lead normal lives. I played baseball, I grew up in a neighborhood with a lot of friends my own age. I basically did everything my friends did. Hemophilia didn't keep me from doing anything as a kid, really.
Including the stupid stuff?
Especially the stupid stuff. I was able to have a normal childhood. I was just totally grateful that blood product treatments were available, and yeah, if I had a problem, I was just one treatment away from having that problem taken care of.
So what does any of this have to do with HIV?
Well, one of the problems with relying on blood product treatments in the 1980s is that HIV was in the blood supply, and people with hemophilia relied heavily upon the blood supply. I was probably exposed to 50,000 donor sources of blood in 1 year's time, just based on the treatments I had for hemophilia, with one treatment exposing me to as many as 10,000 donor sources in one injection. One treatment for a bleed was basically the equivalent in the early 1980s of having unprotected sex with thousands of people at one time. In elementary school, there were signs that my immune system was weakened, and that's what HIV does. So being in a high-risk group, showing signs of my immune system being weak, my parents were definitely worried about whether I had contracted HIV through my blood product treatments. In 6th grade, my parents realized they needed to know one way or the other my HIV status, so they got me tested and the test came back positive. Dealing with HIV was a lot different than dealing with hemophilia because I couldn't look in the mirror and see HIV. I saw the news stories and I saw how everybody was responding to HIV back then and how some people still respond to it today, and I freaked out. I really thought HIV was a death sentence. And being diagnosed at age 11, it was tough. I just had no idea what the future held or how much of a future I had. So fast forward to today, and HIV is a little bit more like hemophilia. I have treatments. I maintain my health through using those treatments for HIV.
Even though there is still a lot of stigma out there for people living with HIV in this country and around the world, it is less than it was when you were first diagnosed.
Absolutely. And when I was first diagnosed, I never thought I'd be around 25 years later. I never thought I'd be talking about this. And one of the reasons why I'm talking about this is that people who are diagnosed are still scared. They don't know what all their options are. They feel very alone. So maybe I'm reaching some people who are just as scared now as I was back then.
So in the end, it doesn't really matter how Shawn was infected with HIV, even though we were happy to talk about it and explain how he was infected. We don't really make a distinction between how Shawn was infected with HIV and how other people are infected with HIV. We just want people to do the best that they can to prevent themselves from contracting HIV if they're HIV negative, and if they're HIV positive, know that there is a life out there and that treatments are available and that you can live a safe and healthy life.
So if anybody has any questions or comments, please place them down below.
Definitely. And thanks for watching as usual, and we'll see you guys next time.
Take care.
Bye.
Fast forward to today, and hemophilia and HIV have more in common than they did when I was diagnosed. I'm taking treatments for HIV, and they help me maintain my health. One of the problems with being an idiot that can't speak